I will read my standard little thing before the meeting. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Tyler County Board of Education. Before we begin tonight's proceedings, I want to acknowledge that recent events have brought a significant amount of attention on our school system and administration. And while emotions are high and many people have a vested interest one way or another in any action taken tonight, I ask that each of you consider how your remarks may be perceived in the public arena. Please remember that our meetings are live streamed, and therefore an audience outside Tyler County will view your demeanor and hear your remarks. Please be civil and mindful that children will be watching how we conduct ourselves here tonight. Please model appropriate behavior for them. The Open Meetings Act dictates a few rules of decorum. First, no speaking out or yelling when others are speaking. Second, please limit your remarks to 10 minutes and be professional. Third, comments shall be made to the board, not the audience. Fourth, the board president has the authority to maintain decorum and terminate any presentation which becomes personal, inappropriate, or abusive. The board is not responsible for comments made by those wishing to address the board. Speakers are solely responsible for their remarks. The board appreciates the interest in the continued success of Tyler County Schools and the concern for our students. Going forward, please be mindful that our focus should be on the students. The mission of Tyler County Schools is to provide student-centered learning opportunities that ensure all students will learn to their potential and master the skills, ethical behaviors, and attitudes needed to be successful citizens in a 21st century economy. I will call this meeting to order. Please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Everybody is present except for Mr. Thomas, and he's absent. There was a death in his family. So we send our condolences to him. Okay, moving on to the next part, approval of the minutes of the March 17th, 2025 regular meeting. Do I have a motion? Andy Shreves made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott seconded the motion. Is there any discussion or corrections to be made to the minutes? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next is presentations. I have Mr. Winters.
I'm taking care of it tonight.
So Mr. Hiley is taking care of Mr. Winters' TCMS math teacher recognition. Michelle Weekly, congratulations.
Hello? There we go. I received a letter in the mail on March 17th, and this is how it read. Dear Superintendent Hiley, it is with pleasure that the West Virginia Council of Teachers of Mathematics is notifying you that Michelle Weekly, mathematics teacher at Tyler Consolidated Middle School, has been elected president-elect for the West Virginia Council teachers of mathematics. She will serve for 1 year in her new position and will then become president of the organization for the following 2 years, leading several hundred mathematics teachers from throughout the state. Mrs. Weekly has been teaching for 21 years with experience in middle and high schools, and has also spent 3 years as a countywide tech integrationist. She currently serves as an at-large member for the WVCTM and is a fellow with the Mountaineer Mathematics Masters Teachers. She states that she looks forward to helping the WVCTM continues to succeed and grow, taking input from all members and coming together to help WVCTM thrive. We congratulate Mrs. Weekly on her election to this position and look forward to working with her for many years to come. So we're very proud of Mrs. Weekly and all of her accomplishments in math. If she could just come forward real quickly, and we have a little token of our appreciation and maybe get a picture for the paper.
Okay, next on the list for presentations is Kelly Myers, TCEA representative, and Lisa Summers, WVEA representative.
I'm gonna try to figure it out. Andy, if we mess up, we're gonna.
Thank you, sorry. Thank you. Okay.
Because it's not going to let you. Can't spell. Told you we should have been.
Yeah.
Play some music while we wait. Hey, look. I think
There
you're
you go.
good.
Oh, is it working now? Okay, I was about to. Enter? You better do it. Okay, I was like, I'll try it. Hi, I'm Lisa Summers. I work for West Virginia Education Association, which actually just newly merged, so but that WVA kind of still runs off my tongue there. So today I'm presenting about putting someone as a stakeholder on your hiring committee for your new superintendent. And I want you to view this as an opportunity to take steps towards healing a community. Appointing a stakeholder to the superintendent's hiring committee is a step to heal the community. If you do a quick Google search, like if you just were at a computer and you pulled it up, It automatically comes up the first thing when a school district hires a superintendent. It's crucial to involve stakeholders like teachers, parents, students, and community members to ensure the chosen candidate aligns with the district's values and priorities, fostering trust in a collaborative environment. It's not, the reason why I read that to you and just mentioned it is I feel like at the last couple meetings, it seems new or a different idea to include stakeholders in on this meeting, and it's really not. Across the nation, a lot of times this happens. Why is a stakeholder important? First of all, it identifies needs, it ensures alignment, it builds trust, which I think is a big one in this county right now, and it promotes a collaborative culture. And I also believe it'll help the new superintendent, whoever is chosen, because it'll set them up for success. I don't know if you're aware, but Tyler County Education Association has over 50% of all employees. This is big. It's one of my biggest counties that I have. Kelly Myers was voted president. She is a key stakeholder, and giving her a seat shows that you care about the employees. In fact, I'd like to say that you kind of need her buy-in for the next superintendent to be successful and to help heal the community. I gotta tell you, WVA doesn't usually fight for superintendents. This is an odd place that we're in. But I truly believe that if you include her in this, just include her in this process, then it will start to heal the community. So I broke this down. Wetzel County is your closest neighbor. I can only speak to really my northern counties, which I have Hancock down to Doddridge or Ritchie, whatever you consider the most southern. And it happens every time in Wetzel. It did happen in Hancock. And then an ODS that is a friend of mine, when she was a teacher in Braxton County, she was also sitting. So I kind of only have access to my little northern area, but it does happen across the state too. Please don't feel like it's an attack on you. I want to make that clear. You would still decide who the new superintendent is. However, the stakeholders would have a position to advise you or at least to give you some feedback. We're just basically asking for her to sit on the interviews and take notes. She would be a non-voting member. She would be an advisory position, and she would just give you the feedback that we think would be in the best policy for the next employees. I didn't want to leave out the obvious. Why do you think the community is so upset whenever you voted to not renew them? I feel like they didn't have a say, and including these key stakeholders, Kelly, and if you wanted, I think it would be a step to heal the community. In addition, I believe that you can actually appoint them by the president onto the hiring committee for the next superintendent, that it doesn't require a vote. I just think the president is able to appoint them. If you look up Robert's Rules of Order, it's just like that for any committee that you would have. You can appoint them onto them to sit, especially since they're not going to be non-voting and would just be giving recommendations. That's it, just short and sweet.
Same thing. We need to heal. And I know that you have a concern that this has never been done before, but that's not really a reason. The fact that it's never been done is not a reason. Things change, and there's been a lot of change in this county, fast and rapid. And I think we need transparency, and I think we need to heal. And this is a big step in that direction. And me sitting on that committee is going to help with the buy-in. It's going to help transition a new superintendent into this county.
Questions?
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask these two? In presentations, you're allowed to ask questions.
Is it always the county president that has to, once somebody's appointed, it has to be that person? And does it always have to be the president?
So there's different ways that you can elect people on a committee. One of the ways is the president of the board can appoint them to a committee. Another way is if somebody else makes a motion and then they can vote. There's, I think, 5 different ways you can put somebody on a committee.
I mean, on your end, does it have to be, like right now, does it have to be Kelly? Does it have to be that person in that position?
So you're asking if a different representative other than Kelly?
No.
Okay. I was like, she was voted our
I'm just-
president.
I-
Just kidding.
Just clarification, then it would be that person in that position. Kelly won't be there forever. She'll retire someday, but.
Well, she's voted in every year. So it could be a different person.
Okay,
each
that's what
year.
I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
You're asking on our organization, every year they're voted in.
Okay, that's it.
Well, evidently there are no more questions, so thank you guys for speaking, and we'll certainly take that under advisement. Okay, next on the agenda is delegations. And first on the list is Evan Crawford, and he is representing the senior class, and he has a petition from the senior class.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Evan Crawford, and I am here once again on behalf of the people we represent, specifically the student body of Tyler Consolidated High School. It's the belief of students, staff, and parents that you disregard the opinions of us students. I've stated multiple times that leaders must represent the beliefs of people they lead, even if they don't fully agree with them. We've come tonight to guarantee that these beliefs that I and other student leaders have shared aren't just the beliefs of those who have spoken, but the beliefs of the high majority of our senior class. Here on the podium, I have a petition constructed by Mia Crawford, meant to be signed only by willing seniors of our school. At the top, it reads as follows. We, seniors of Tyler County, graduating in May of 2025, do not want Larry Thomas, Diana Stender, or Andy Shreves to hand us our diplomas or shake our hands during the graduation ceremony. Excuse me for a moment. This is the will of our class as demonstrated by the 71 out of 99 signatures on this document. All who signed this document were clear in understanding what this document meant and were not pushed one way or the other. As the person who asked for these signatures, I made it very clear that they would sign this document only if they were fully aware of what it was about and what it meant. We created and passed along this document to show how the high majority of our class was hurt by the way you've led in the past. In fact, while presenting this document, many of the students that were not seniors asked if they could sign it. It's beyond question that we are disappointed. When you become a leader, we feel it's your responsibility to give up some of your will to give power to the people you're leading. That's the entire point of a leader in most situations, and it's our hope that this comes to be realized in the near future. Thank you once again, and please have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Pam Stallings, and she's representing herself, and she is talking about building trusted relationships.
Good evening.
Did you ever think when you started plowing your furrows crooked, it's mighty hard to get them straight again? This famous quote from the classic movie Sergeant York seems fitting for this presentation. If you've ever planted a garden, once your row is crooked, it is difficult and nearly impossible to get the remaining rows straight. This analogy can be used for the building and nourishing of trusted relationships. As a school counselor, I hear the importance of building trusted relationships with my faculty, administration, and most importantly, the families and students at every conference, meeting, and webinar I attend. Trust is crucial for successful schools, fostering a positive learning environment where students feel safe, engaged, and motivated to learn, while also improving collaboration among staff and parents. Students are the heartbeat of any academic institution, and according to the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, their trust is crucial in the overall success of their education. The culture of a school system lives in its organizational relationships. When a school system has established a positive culture, students are more likely to meet academic standards and less likely to drop out or experience chronic behavior problems. Trust is the foundation for social interaction and cooperation. Whatever matters to human beings, trust is the atmosphere in which it thrives. Yet, establishing trusting relationships has proven challenging in a number of schools throughout the country, and now, sadly, even our own. We can assume that most school leaders and teachers know the importance of establishing trusted relationships. However, we know that it's not so simple. Trust must be earned, and when it isn't, cultivating school achievement is close to impossible. So, how do we enhance trusted relationships in our school system? To improve in this area, you should start by examining the effectiveness of your school system's interdependent relationships. Trust is required when the interests of one cannot be met without the aid of another. School systems, in order to be successful, rely on a number of individuals operating in various capacities: teachers, bus drivers, principals, cooks, custodians, and yes, even board members. In Tyler County, these trusting relationships have now been fractured. Relationships are strengthened in part by each individual having an understanding of their own obligations, as well as having some expectation and understanding of the obligations of others. Trust grows as each individual feels comfortable that others are doing what is expected of them. One or a small group of individuals acting alone cannot achieve and sustain all that a school system requires to be effective. The actions and behaviors of the school leader significantly influences the culture and climate of a school system. According to studies, the primary leadership behaviors perceived to strengthen relationships in schools are associated with compassion and openness. Given this, school leaders should be motivated to take measures that demonstrate to stakeholders that they are caring and transparent. When students, staff, and families sense that school leaders truly care about their well-being, they often reciprocate by returning trust. Student trust in schools is heightened when they feel the adults in the leadership roles want what is best for them. They engage more freely in the learning process when they feel that all teachers and administrators are invested in their educational outcomes and success. Students who do not trust their educational leaders may disengage from the learning process and create barriers, which make developing healthy relationships with adults challenging. The quality of the relationship within a school system plays a significant role in its success or failure. It is unlikely for school systems to realize healthy school cultures if relationships are destructive or negative. So, what is my point? I have been saddened and disappointed by the recent events in our county. As a proud employee of Tyler County Schools for more than 22 years, I have witnessed the evolving effects of consolidation. When I started, I learned quickly that it was very much still a Tigers versus Red Raiders mentality in our school building. For example, staff working in the same departments were very territorial and often did not work together for a common goal: no trust. We have fought the lack of school spirit from staff, students, and our community for years, and only within the last 5 years have felt a sense of cohesiveness across the board. We finally are all Knights. It was full steam ahead, and our accountability has shown that, because of this and trusted relationships among all those invested in Tyler County Schools, our students are thriving despite the obstacles stacked against them. The students I'm seeing today are quite different than those from 20 years ago. Adults have no idea how much pressure they themselves, peers, and social media puts on our students to be successful. The best athlete, the prettiest, the strongest, the smartest, the absolute best at everything. Even the best students with the most supported homes struggle with anxiety and trust. As adults, it is more important than ever to model the appropriate ways to handle disappointment, how to be resilient, and how to be confident when those around you are trying to tear you down. Maybe it's the ginger in me, but most of you know that I don't sugarcoat much when it comes to asking my opinion or when standing up for my students, and I'm not going to start tonight. I'm not quite sure you understand the ripple effect of your decision to not renew our superintendent's contract. I've never known Tyler County Schools Board of Education to be one that gives good reviews and then fires you in the next breath. Oh, and regarding the volleyball interaction that Mr. Hiley had with a neighboring county representative, good for him. I am the mother of a freshman volleyball player and was appalled at the abuse our team endured because of the decisions of the SSAC. You can't imagine what our girls were being called, the rumors that were spread about them, and the memes and pictures that were shared on social media by teams, parents, and other teams in our counties, in other counties. Perhaps you should have investigated the reasons behind that interaction before holding it against him. He never wavered in front of the team and upheld a positive attitude, even encouraging them to stand up for themselves by attending a court hearing concerning their right to play a state championship. Our players took the high road and tried to ignore the noise as much as possible. That is what strong women do. If you had a problem with his behavior, again, a conversation would have sufficed. Our leadership has always been intentional and ethical in its decision making and have had those hard conversations to explain their actions when needed. When asked by students and parents about that decision for the first time, I couldn't defend you or your reason behind it. I encouraged them to reach out to you, but they got no response. And then to use their voices and openly express their concerns, because that is what adults do. I proudly watch my students stand before you and plead their case as to why they believe their superintendent is the best fit for their school. They trusted you to make the right decision, and they trusted that you would fairly listen to them. That trust was broken. And then a few weeks later, they witnessed the public questioning of Mrs. Feldmeyer, one of our most respected and tenured administrators and superintendent candidates, and her job performance. For you see, our students are invested in their school system and are watching how decisions are made. They noticed that every email that Mrs. Feldmeyer referred to was after the school day. They noticed that their school leaders were working way past the required hours of their full-time jobs to make sure the job got done. What happened to common respect and treating each other with kindness? What happened to reaching out respectfully when we need explanations? We expect that from our children, and they should be able to expect that from you. As I said earlier, I try to proudly carry the torch of those great educators who came before me. I can't help thinking of the Larry Richies and Linda Putzalus and more, and how they would react to the recent events. They were the ones fighting for our students, creating deep traditions for Tyler County schools. Personally, I want each of you to find success. Professionally, I think you've got a lot of work to do to earn the trust from current and future members of Tyler County the school system. Choosing Mrs. Feldmeyer as our next superintendent would be a great start. Who better knows our policies, traditions, and high ethical and academic expectations than someone invested in Tyler County schools for more than 23 years? I encourage you to restart planting your garden and to get those rows straight, especially for your community, your staff, and your students.
Okay, next on the list is Stacy Kidder, and she is representing herself, and she is talking about the topic of appointment of person to hiring committee.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you today about a very important decision you are about to make. The decision to vote on who will serve on the hiring committee for our new superintendent. This is a responsibility that should not be taken lightly, and it's one that will have lasting impacts on the future of our county, our staff, and most importantly, our students. As you know, selecting a new superintendent is one of the most critical decisions we can make as a county. This person will help guide our schools, set the tone for the culture, and make decisions that affect every single member of this community. That's why it's essential that we have a voice on this committee who is well qualified and committed to our shared vision, and also dedicated to building trust, fostering transparency, and ensuring that the entire process reflects the values we all hold dear. One of the most important things we must do in this process is build and maintain trust among our staff. When it comes to making such a significant decision, all of us, teachers, administrators, support staff, need to feel that the hiring committee will approach the process with fairness, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of our entire school community. Alongside trust, transparency is equally vital in this process. Selecting a new superintendent is not a decision that should be made behind closed doors or without input from the larger community. Transparency is essential because it keeps everyone informed and involved. The new superintendent will have a significant impact on our schools, and it's important that the staff, students, and families are able to see and understand the rationale behind the decisions made during the hiring process. This is the process that involves not just a select few, but the whole county. From the moment the committee begins its work, we must ensure that everyone is able to contribute their insights, ask questions, and feel confident that they have a stake in the outcome. I believe that Kelly Myers can provide that for our community. As you prepare to cast your votes, let us remember that this is not just a vote for an individual to serve on a committee. It is a vote for a transparent, inclusive, and collaborative process that will shape the future of our county. We are choosing a representative who will be entrusted with the responsibility of helping select the leader who will guide us forward, and we must ensure that those chosen are aligned with our values of trust, transparency, and fairness. By adding Kelly to this committee, you are not only helping to make an important decision, but you are also setting the tone for how we want to work together as a county in the future. The process doesn't end with the vote today. It's an ongoing effort that will require all of us to stay engaged, to ask questions, and to support one another throughout the journey. In conclusion, I urge you to vote thoughtfully and with care. Together, we can ensure that we move forward with a sense of unity, confidence, and purpose, knowing that we are choosing a leader who will make decisions that are in the best interest of every member of this community. Thank you for your attention, your commitment, and your thoughtful participation in this important decision. Let's make this process one that we can all be proud of. I firmly believe that by voting yes, you will be taking a crucial step toward rebuilding the trust that has been lost over the past 3 months. This decision will signal a commitment to restoring confidence among our students, employees, and the broader community. It's not just about a vote, it's about showing we are dedicated to working together and making meaningful progress towards healing and unity. Thank you.
Okay, and our last delegation speaker is Kay Duff. She is representing herself, and she is talking on the topic of appointing a person to the hiring committee.
Good evening, my name is Kay Duff, and once again, I find myself speaking to you and asking you to do the right thing. A question I want you to ask yourself while I'm speaking is, what are you doing to make things better? The purpose of the school board is to facilitate the business of a school system in the best interest of the students. You act on behalf of the public, and you work in harmony with other board members, administration, teachers, and the public. School boards work together to serve the students. Functions of the board should be completed as a team, not individual agenda. Effective school board members are not afraid to stand up for what they believe. The fact that you are staying silent says a lot to me. The function of a school board is to create the conditions for improved student outcomes by representing the vision and the values of the community. All non-aligned tasks are by definition dysfunctional. Dysfunctional means not functioning properly or exhibiting abnormal or unhealthy behavior or interactions. And dysfunction can manifest as poor communication, conflict, and abuse in relationships. You three have managed to create all three of these dysfunctions, and this hinders growth, it damages relationships, and it impedes the ability to navigate challenges effectively. Dysfunctional behavior can be passive-aggressive behavior, which includes practicing silent treatment instead of communicating. And when this happens, this erodes trust, it causes suspicion, and it contributes to the communication breakdown. What are you doing to make things better? Part of your job as a board member involves open, transparent communication, and this has not happened. Another aspect of your responsibility is conflict management. Conflict management is identifying and addressing disagreements fairly and efficiently to minimize negative impacts and maximize positive outcomes with open communication and active listening in order to find a common ground. The three of you have no conflict resolution skills. You are clearly not qualified to be a board member and should resign due to the lack of skills to complete your job responsibilities. Many people have sent emails, texts, and calls since this whole situation began. One of the board members said they chose not to answer because the messages were mean. I know for a fact that not every message was mean. Some of you chose not to answer, did not even have anything to do with Mr. Hiley's contract renewal, and you still chose not to answer them. This is your job as a board member. I don't care if every single message you received was mean. It's your job. Conflict management is part of your job. Nowhere does it state that conflict management is effective if you ignore everything. Effective conflict resolution is not designed to avoid disagreements. In that, you are not doing your job. Resign and let someone in there that can effectively clean up the mess that you have made. You believe it is okay to stay silent, and we have proven to you that otherwise, that it hasn't benefited anybody. You have chosen to talk to a few about your reasons for removal, and some of these people have spoken about it and exposed you. You would have been far ahead to have made a statement for yourself. One family member has talked about the real reasons Mr. Hiley was let go. This person was stated as saying, "You don't know everything, I can't say anything, my family member can't say anything," and lo and behold, as the conversation went on, he said why Mr. Hiley was let go. First was the suicides in the school. Second was volleyball, and third was inappropriate student-teacher relationship. Now, personally, I don't know how you're holding one man accountable for inappropriate relationships or suicides in schools. This man has been instrumental in securing everything possible for the betterment of our students' mental health. He obviously cannot control everything in our school system, or the mess that has been created by what I believe are the three of you would have been rectified a long time ago. And as far as volleyball, I have seen the entire volleyball team and their coaches stand before you and speak in support of him. For the record, I will take an honest, fiery person over a deceitful person any day. I do social work for a living, and I have served in the Tyler County school system in the past. I have served and do serve a risky population. I am familiar with people at risk. So I want to know if you guys know what this is. This is a suicide prevention training that was actually scheduled for today. Completely free training, would have cost you nothing. Took one day of your time, 9 hours, and I work a full-time job too, but I took off today to give my time to help people. It required a minimum of 15 participants. But we got 4 people, and I was one of the 4. I would have gladly took a seat beside the 3 of you, because at least that would have shown me that you were doing something to try to help. What are you doing to make things better? I watched as a taxpayer strolled up on the stage and shook only 3 of the 6 people's hands sitting there. You greeted and spoke to this person. And then this person proceeded to attack the competency of our staff, our students, our administration, and our superintendent, and frankly, our community as a whole. Under the leadership of Mr. Hiley and the administration and the staff of Tyler County, we have some of the best and most successful students around. You should have defended them. The fact that you sat in silence and said nothing tells me that you're really not here for the students. You're here for an agenda. And here's what I want to tell you about our students of Tyler County. You may not have defended them, but you did teach them something. Through your actions, you have taught them what they do not want in an elected position. These students will become eligible to vote, and they will remember who supported them. And one day, they will cast their vote. Frankly, personally, I'm still asking you 3 to resign, because you do not have the skills necessary to do your job correctly. This brings up much concern for me as you investigate candidates for superintendent, because I, like many others, have absolutely no trust in your capabilities. Therefore, since you have not done the right thing by resigning, I'm asking that you try to repair some of the damage. I am asking you to begin rebuilding trust and healing the community who you are accountable to. I am asking that you have someone on the outside, Kelly Myers, on the school board for the hiring process of the superintendent. Those that have nothing to hide, hide nothing. So, what are you willing to do to make things better? Thank you for your time.
Okay, that concludes the delegation part of the meeting. So we will be moving on to communications. Approval of the name for the new elementary school.
We did have a survey out to the public. I just wanted to go over those results with you. We had quite a few names that we allowed people to choose from. The top 3 results, in order, were Tyler Consolidated Elementary School with 684 votes, Knights Academy, 236 votes, Castleview Elementary, 191 votes. So based on that input, I bring to you tonight for the approval of the name of the new elementary school to be Tyler Consolidated Elementary School. And I would ask for approval of that.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the new name for the elementary school to be Tyler Consolidated Elementary?
I'll make a motion.
Diana Stender made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott seconded that. Is there any discussion about the name for the new elementary school? Well, I'm not surprised that was picked. Okay, so we are going to now vote on that. All those in favor of Tyler Consolidated Elementary School being the new school's name, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Number two under communications, the Boys and Girls Club of Tyler County has requested to be funded through Tyler County Schools. We'll bring that number up during the budget work session. I think it's been hugely beneficial to our kids. Numbers have fluctuated, of course, as they always do with programs, but I think it will continue to grow, and it is a resource that is very, very much needed in this community, and I hope that we are able to continue to help fund that position. But once it's budget time, we'll go over those monetary numbers and go from there. But I just wanted to get it on the table that they will be requesting funds for the next year. They will also be looking at other funding opportunities also to help offset whatever cost the county would have to pay.
Okay, superintendent's report.
Nothing under superintendent's report.
Curriculum update.
Nothing under curriculum update.
Committee reports. Anybody down that way? Okay, then we'll move on to project updates. The TCHS gym floor. It looks mighty nice.
So they have, I believe, one more coat of clear coat to put on top, and the gym floor will be complete. The last step is to drill the holes for the volleyball posts. So that will be done this week, and I would say next week we will be able to utilize the gym floor and gymnasium. I'll bring some pictures next time so everyone can see the finished product. It's very beautiful, just like everything else that we've done in this county. Top notch, looks great. Our kids will be blessed to play on such a nice playing surface for volleyball and basketball. The other projects, of course, is the addition at the back of the high school. It's coming together. All the windows are going in. They're working on HVAC stuff. Interior walls are being painted, and a stone wall in the entry, couple stone walls in the entry are being finished up. And it's coming along very well. It's going to be absolutely beautiful and another great resource for our kids. The head house is under construction now, laying block, all those things. I guess the best way to explain what it's going to look like if you haven't seen pictures is kind of like Cabela's Bass Pro Shop kind of ish, like a lodge. It'll be a great place for our kids to sell and showcase their work in the greenhouse in the ag department. Thank you.
Also, just for your information, the FFA greenhouse opens Tuesday, April 22nd for anybody who wants to go out there to buy their plants, and they'll be open from 2 to 6 p.m. Anything under staff reports?
Nothing under staff reports.
Okay, financial. Approval to reschedule the date for the annual budget workshop from Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 to Monday, April 28th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Andy made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Diana Stender made the second. Is there any discussion? Jeff, do you want to tell us anything about that? So, does anybody have any questions about why we're changing it? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Policy review. Oh, wait. I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to speak about item 9, matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving competition which, if made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the state or any political subdivision. Then, we would also like to discuss personnel. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of going into executive session with Mr. Davis, say aye.
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 750.
I think so.
Did you say aye, Mrs. Stender?
I didn't hear, the first one is about, did you say item 9?
It's under the West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, and item 9 is what I read. Yeah, when you want to talk, you need to turn your mic on. So yes, that is an item that you're allowed to go into executive session for. So did you vote yes to? Okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, so we will be going into executive session short period of time. Okay, we are back from executive session, and we will be moving on to policy review.
Just an update on the policy review process. Last week, Mr. Hess from Neola came and met with all the county office administrators to go over their policies. I don't know, did he give you a timeline? So I don't know what the timeline will be on him reviewing those and changing all the individual policies for each department. Once we have that, we will bring a large number of policies to the board to adopt, and that'll be our new policy manual through Neola. Thank you.
Okay, next is athletic schedules, TCMS Volleyball 2025. Do I have a motion to approve that schedule?
So moved.
Scott made the motion. Do I have a second? Second. Andy, second. Does anybody have any questions about that schedule? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I believe everybody said aye, and the motion carried. Approval of requests. We have a multitude of requests, so
We do. We have trip requests that are A through T. These are all kind of end of the year. Most are end of the year field trips. I would like to thank the board for allowing our students to experience these different field trips and also competitions that they'll be able to be a part of. So I would ask approval for all the requests A through T.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the trip requests?
I'll make a motion.
Andy made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott seconded that. Or is there any discussion about any of the trips or items on that list?
There are a couple of dates that have already passed on those. Are we still good on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under other requests, there are a bunch of those too.
Under other requests, A, B, and C are different requests. A, Mr. Jennings is asking permission for chaperones and help for volunteers for summer band. He does that every year and does a great job with it. Mr. Wilhoit requests permission for the NASA Solar System Administrators to use the TCHS auditorium and grounds for sharing NASA news, discovery via presentations and activities. I think that'll be really cool for our kids. And then the C is a request for Tycon, as they have for many years, to utilize the field and concession stands for their practices and games. And they know that as every year, if something's going on school-related, they are not permitted to utilize. D through U are people asking to cross county lines to attend Tyler County schools, and I would ask for approval of all those.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve those other requests?
So moved.
Scott made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Andy beat you to the punch, Diana. Andy seconded that. Does anybody have any question about any of those other requests? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All requests were approved. Under personnel, consideration and possible action on the superintendent's recommendation to accept the following personnel actions. Were there any resignations after the publication?
There were no resignations after publication.
Okay, then we'll move on to resignations.
Under resignations, Michaela Shamblin resigns her position as substitute teacher, effective immediately. Lisa Hartman resigns by retirement from her position of English teacher at Tyler Consolidated High School, effective September 1st, 2025. And Austin Dillon resigns as a substitute bus operator, effective immediately.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept those resignations?
So moved.
Scott made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Andy made this second. Is there any discussion on those resignations? Okay, all those in favor of accepting those resignations, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under other personnel, consideration and possible action on proposal to allow Kelly Myers, TCEA representative, to observe superintendent applicant interviews. This is, do I have a motion to consider the proposal to allow Kelly Myers to observe the superintendent applicant interviews?
So moved.
Scott made the motion. Do I have a second? I will second that. So is there any discussion on the allowance of Kelly Myers to be part of the hiring committee to observe the superintendent applicant interviews? Okay, then if there's no discussion on that, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of allowing Kelly Myers to observe the superintendent applicant interviews, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay, it was a 2-2 vote, which means it was a tie, which means the motion dies. So Ms. Myers will not be part of the hiring committee. Okay, moving on. Allowed and authorized payment of the bills. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Scott made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Andy seconded that. Is there any discussion on payment of the bills? Okay, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, request for agenda items for the next board meeting. Okay, no requests for the next board meeting. S is discussion on the next steps in the superintendent search. Do I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss next steps in the superintendent search?
I'll make a motion.
Andy made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott made the second on that. All those in favor of going into executive session to discuss the superintendent search, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We will be going into executive session to review the applications for the new superintendent. 10:12. There is no, oh. So there are no votes that are coming out of the executive session that we just had. We reviewed the applicants and now are in the process of giving that information to Mr. Brown, who will then set up the interview process. So that is what we spent our time in there doing. I've got everything all messed up now. Let me find it. Okay. So we are out of executive session and we are at the end here. And the next regular meeting of the Tyler County Board of Education will be held Tuesday, April 15th at 7 o'clock, and it will be held at Tyler Consolidated High School Auditorium. And that meeting is in accordance with West Virginia Code 11-8-12A. The March 17th, 2025 meeting needs to stand unadjourned and continue until the third Tuesday of April, which is April 15th. So we will be in attendance and finish, that's the levy part of the meeting that we continued. So do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Andy made the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Done. Time is 10:15.